So how cool was that butt kiss award?
It was awesome. In my young football career, probably one of the most special moments that I've had on the grass. It was just, it was so cool just to see his response. And as we all know, he's just so well deserving of the award, and just an amazing human being. And man, it's been an honor to coach him, and it was an honor to be there and to witness that. It was cool.
We only saw a little bit of the video. How did that all come together at the beginning? Did he kind of surprise everyone, or think about this?
Yeah, we'd been told a couple days prior that it was happening, and I'm not very good at keeping secrets, although I did, amazingly enough. And so we're all kind of on the road recruiting it as of right now. But Coach Moore made sure that I got back here for it. So I flew back in, had a little light morning workout, and then Coach Losi brought him up and had him on a knee and had their back to that gate, and as he starts talking, the gate opens, and here comes Dick Buckus, and I'm just peeking over. I'm watching EK, and EK sees him. It was just it was so cool. It was so cool for him, his family, and all that he stood for, and just what a great way to be recognized.
Did it make it more special given that he'd been overlooked in these postseason awards for a while now?
Yeah, it's one of those few awards. I think there's a lot of awards out there that are based upon maybe, the hype, the splash plays, the Sports Center plays, all that stuff. Where this one is, you look at the guys that are on this evaluation committee, and it's real guys, real football players, linebackers, guys that understand the position, understand defense at a high level, and they understand it's being consistent, it's showing up every day, it's being that same guy, and EK embodies all that.
Go ahead.
Is that something you've already been able to kind of talk to some recruits about, the Butkus Award, some of your linebacker recruits?
Yeah, but I don't even know what I can.
I can't say names.
I can't say anything, right?
You can't say names. I can't say.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt recruiting for sure. Yeah. It's pretty cool. The guys have really started to create a tradition here. Of excellence at the linebacker position. Having a number 9 pick overall and a potential Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year, and then to have EK back that up with a Butkus, they take a lot of pride in that, and it's cool to see.
You got some flack a couple of years ago with the Facebook post with the linebacker you. Does that?
I don't know how that occurred. Someone said it, right?
And I think it was Penn State fans got really upset that you did it.
Well, somebody said it, right? I don't know who said it, and it's something that that was kind of private amongst them and themselves, and I don't know how that went public. And then, and then the fans started blasting the players, So as a coach, that was my opportunity to stand up for them, and I think what they take pride in is the here and now. A lot of people try to cling to tradition, they cling to the past, they cling to what was, and our guys are trying to start something now, today, and they're putting their they're doing it. They're making an argument for that. So it's fun to be a part of it.
This being your first year as defensive coordinator, how do you kind of look back and self-evaluate how these first 12 games have gone, at least?
Yeah, it was definitely a learning process. Came in early and thought we could be very, very simple, and then I just, as we went, just gave them more and more as they could grasp more, and gave them more tools and more answers, and they embraced that, and they enjoyed that kind of things being on their terms a little bit more, and so they grew, I grew. It was fun. Unfortunately, it didn't end the way, at least the regular season didn't end the way we wanted it to, but we got a great opportunity in this bowl game. Got a great opponent. It's going to be a great challenge. I've watched them briefly now, and they pose a lot of challenges for a defense.
Did it take a little bit longer maybe to click with what you wanted to do than you would have initially expected coming in, kind of not knowing the ropes in terms of being a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, it was a deal where, obviously Coach Moore has an enormous influence on me defensively, and so would guys like Dan Quinn, who's up in Seattle now, and guys that I've been around a lot, and their philosophy regarding scheme and calling a game is, always put the game in the player's hands. Keep it simple, be great with fundamentals and technique and alignment, assignment. Let them know it and understand it at a high level so they can play fast and physical. The problem is in college football it's a little different because you're seeing so much exotic stuff on offense that you almost have to balance that with being exotic in your own right at times, just to keep them off balance. And I kind of, I felt like we gained a better understanding, or I did. I gained a better understanding of that as the season went on, and I think we're only going to get better as a group now.
Was there a game where it really clicked? Like, I know Arizona was kind of the one, just when you look at the scores, it seems like that's where the defense kind of showed up. But was it before then, or was that?
I felt like this might sound crazy to you guys, but it really started that Utah game. Now, prior to that rascal that came, that quarterback, man. Prior to that mobile guy coming in, we were playing at a high level, and they were mixing it up, and we were doing really well. And obviously, we had trouble with the mobile guy that came in. But I felt like that was kind of the turning point of the season for us defensively, and guys starting to grasp things and us becoming a little bit more complex.
Obviously, replacing Anthony was a huge, something you guys had to work on all year. How difficult do you anticipate it's going to be to replace EK in the middle?
Just as difficult, but that's awesome. That means we're doing something right. When you're saying it's going to be so difficult to replace a guy, it means it hopefully means that we developed a guy. We made a guy special, or helped him become special. So it should be that way every year. We should always have that conversation. How are you going to replace Miles? And how are you going to replace Kenny Young? And then how are you going to replace, that you want that conversation. Otherwise, you're not doing it right. So it's going to be extremely difficult. He's obviously, what you see on the field is obvious, but behind the scenes in the meeting rooms, his leadership in the locker room, it's going to be hard to replace.
How do you think you guys did replace AB's production?
It was kind of by committee. It's a deal where. In the past couple of years, we never brought pressure. We didn't have to bring pressure because you could bring forward, and Anthony was so dominant as a rusher, So we'd been very simple in a lot of ways, and but we were still, getting great pressure on the quarterback, and our sacks were up and all that stuff, and you had a guy like Cassius too, which people forget about him sometimes. But Cash is an amazing pass rusher, very disruptive. Keenan Graham, I think, had 7 sacks his senior year. I mean, you had 3 guys with just crazy sack production that they weren't getting it is stunting them or blitzing them. They were just getting it with 4-man rushes. So to replace those 3 guys it was difficult. And we had to do some different things schematically. But as the season kind of wore on, I thought our guys there's some guys that really stepped up regarding rushing the passer. Dion, I thought the addition of Tack was huge for us. I think Oa finally really came into his own, started just playing at a very high level. The interior guys were playing well. So, those guys will only get better. All those guys come back, minus Oa. So we can build from that.
What's the plan with a guy like Tack? Is he going to be more of a, bulk him up, be a little bit more like Oa, or be more like a, Anthony outside linebacker?
We'll see. He's one of those guys where, the Contra Costa County, they work hard, and they have a great strength and conditioning program. Coach Elosi, though, is just, in my mind, one of the best, if not the best, strength and conditioning coach in the business right now. And, so it'll be interesting to see how his body responds to Coach Elosi. He could become that close side end Oa type guy. But at the same time, if he doesn't put that type of weight on, he's got the athleticism to play outside backer. So, I think we'll kind of let his body let us know where he's going to go.
As part of the staff, when you hear Jim's name inevitably come up for, random open jobs across college football, is that something you guys just kind of laugh off?
Honestly, I don't listen to it, People always sending me texts. So, how's Ann Arbor? Shooting like little screenshots of, the weather at different places. And, I don't pay any attention to it. I'm convinced that Coach Moore is, he loves it here. He loves it here. He loves this program. He loves the kids that we've assembled. He loves the direction that we're going. I think he's in it for the long haul. I really do. He's built a beautiful home down in Manhattan Beach. Doesn't look like he has any intention of leaving that. You know, and plus his kids, you know, have stayed here close to go to school locally to be together and to be with him. So everything would indicate to me that he's staying, you know, and yeah, we're excited about that.
I can say from experience, the weather in Michigan right now is not great.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Although today,
rain,
yeah.
Kansas State philosophically, sort of Stanford-like, very deliberate.
Oh,
very,
stop saying that.
no, but
We keep saying that.
it's good that you guys have a test like that, considering the struggles you had against Stanford.
Love it, yeah. Our guys embrace that, you know. I know that they were frustrated with the way things ended, and it's a great opportunity to lick their wounds and get back on the horse and show everybody what they're made of, show each other what they're made of. They are similar in some ways, but at the same time, they're different too. They're very unique. You know, they do a lot of really, really interesting things with their splits and their run game and their run pass stuff, and it's going to be a great challenge for us. Yeah.
You see, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You see those pop passes, the run pass option, and you see plays where they'll have an offensive lineman 5 yards downfield. How challenging is that for your linebackers?
It's hard. I mean, it is hard. You know, that's like new age offense that they've started to do. That's what Arizona made a ton of money doing this year. You know, it's okay, take away the dive. Okay, take away the pitch. Okay, take away the quarterback. And all of a sudden you do that, and then you abandon the curl, and he pops it over your head. So it's just, you know, it's the quadruple option is what it is. There's 4 options on virtually every play. So yeah, we gotta be ready. You know, we gotta know these guys in and out. We gotta have great practices, great preparation. Which, if this morning's any indicator, you know how they're feeling, I'm excited about this bowl game. They're rolling.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.